Thank you for tuning into the latest episode of the Splashcast, your go-to podcast for news and discussion in the world of sports. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our NFL segment of our football edition, or our football segment of episode 165 of the Splashcast, Monday Night Raw. Got a few things we're going to talk about NFL Week 10. Let's talk about it. Start off with leaders of the NFC South. Start off with Victory Monday. Start off with, I believe we're the number 3 ranked team in the NFC right now. The Atlanta Falcons defeated the Cowboys. Dang, you had a score. 27-21. The Atlanta Falcons defeated the Cowboys 27. Patrick Mahomes, whatever. 27-21. Normally in a 27-21 game, and we'll talk about how we feel about it. This was a methodical beatdown for me. Did you watch the game?
Absolutely. From beginning to end.
How'd you feel about it? What'd you see?
We won, so I'm happy. I have to start with things that make me happy. The offense seemed to do well enough. I'm of course a little bit afraid with Drake London with the hip pointer. He's clearly our wide receiver one. I know people love Bijan, but I think that he might be our number one weapon because he's so effective.
He looks unguardable in the red zone. He's
just anything near him, he's gonna catch it. And you can throw it in a place where only he can get it, and he's gonna get it. And he's a problem. You're right, he's a problem in the red zone for any cornerback. The defense was not the defense that we needed. This is another game to me that Cowboys not at full strength and literally falling apart in front of us. No Michael Parsons. Dak leg fell off. Zeke got left at home because he on restriction. CD got a sprained AC joint in his shoulder. And we still only won by 6 points. Now, I will say, and I was talking to Tinsley about this, we were in control of the game the entire time, top to bottom. There was never a point where it looked like, oh, the Falcons are going to lose this. But at the end of the day, we have to do a better job of putting away teams that are not at full strength, which I will say this Chiefs and Bucks game makes me feel better about us struggling to beat them without Godwin and Mike Evans. Because they're finding a way to manufacture offense without their wide receiver 1 and 2, which are probably their 2 best offensive weapons. And so RB1. It just ain't us.
And RB1.
Yeah.
Rashad White is their starter.
You're right. And Kansas City defense ain't no slouch. So that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. But I think that I didn't like giving up 21 points to the Cowboys as constructed. But I'm happy we beat them.
Well, you touched on a lot of points there. So, yeah, Ezekiel Elliott did not travel. So, they did not have their RB, whatever he is. He ain't RB1. Because I will say Rico Dowdell, now let me tell y'all, Rico Dowdell is real. He's fast. He's quick. He makes moves, and he is a one-cut guy. He makes his first move, and then he gets upfield, which is what you need. So, they didn't have Ezekiel Elliott. Yes, Dak did get hurt. He's expected to miss several weeks with the hamstring, and his hand was like he had an allergic reaction to something. Like, it was so swollen. So his hand was hella swollen. He did hurt his hamstring. So the Cowboys were beat up. I will say that. The Cowboys were beat up, but the score is 27-21. It's not it wasn't as close as you think. They scored a touchdown at the end of the game with like a minute left because it was 27-14. the touchdown that they had to Rico Dowdell, the first one, should have been an interception, should have been a drop, and he juggled the ball and somehow ended up still catching it for a touchdown while he was literally on his back. So if you take away those two, the lucky touchdown, and you take away the garbage time touchdown where they scored but didn't have any timeouts and we just got the ball and knelt, there was really, our defense actually played pretty decently. What I like about this game and what I saw, as I said, there's another video, my live reaction to it, where I just kind of gave what I thought about in the moment. I really like the thought process of us using Bijan and Algier. I still don't agree with how often. I think it should be a 1.5 to 1. I think it should be if Algier
can't be 19-6, yo. It can't be.
If Bijan Robinson has 15 carries, Algier has to have 10. Because if you looked at this game and how they used them, they let Bijan run wild. He was running everywhere. They did zone read. They did to the zone stretch plays. They did counters. They put him in the slot, especially when what's his name went out? Drake London went out. They were putting him everywhere, and Dallas just got tired. They got tired chasing Bijan around, and as soon as they got tired, what we do? Put in Algier, and he would go in there for, one run, but it'd be 7 yards, and then we throw the ball for a touchdown, and then at the end of the game, to basically seal it, they gave him the ball at the 7, and he ran through the whole defense, and they were just beat down. So I like how we're using them and deploying them, because Zach Robinson, hey, shout out to you. I apologize to Bobo in the college football segment, because Carson Beck was playing like butt. I got a shout out to you, man. You called a hell of a game. You, Mike, I keep wanting to say Mike Evans, but Drake London went out, and when Drake London scored that touchdown, it looked like we were about to blow Dallas out. Like we were about to go to work on them. And then once he went out, we had to try to kind of manufacture offense. So we leaned on the run. We leaned on the run game. Shout out to the Chiefs. Leaned on the run game, and then we schemed the hell out of Dallas. We schemed the hell. That Darnell Mooney touchdown, where it was a wheel route when Dallas was confused, was fantastic.
Man, wide open. Walked into the end zone. I want to once again give Terry Fontenot his credit. I looked at that Darnell Mooney and said, I don't know how I feel about it. I actually think I said I wanted a guy another tier up.
Oh no!
And Darnell Mooney is everything that you can ask for in a wide receiver too. He's probably like where Drake probably has the bigger plays. Mooney is the guy easier to get the ball to.
He's faster and he just in and out of his routes.
He catches the ball. He does everything that you can ask for a guy, honestly. Now, once again, my biggest thing is, you're looking at Bijan with 19 carries, and then also he caught 7 receptions, 7 targets.
Yeah, he had 160 yards total, 150 something yards.
Which I get that, but I was joking, laughing at myself. Like, does Zach have this dude on his fantasy team? Like, there's no reason for it not to be a little bit more balanced. I don't know why he's so Bijan heavy. I think that, and especially when Drake went out, that's when you got to put them both in the game at the same time.
Well, they did. That's the thing. They did put him in the game at the same time, and also being there in person, watching the game. When you see Bijan makes a lot of 3 and 4 yard runs when that shouldn't be there. So there was a lot of time, or a lot of 4 yard runs that turned to 7. He did that the whole game, and I was like, okay, I see it now. Seeing it in person, bro, he be making people stand still. He make people stand still.
The thing about it is, you're right. The first guy who gets there,
toast, dead, gone.
Yeah, if I'm coaching that guy, I don't know how you tell a football player don't tackle him, but don't just wait for somebody else to get there to help you tackle him. I know that's difficult to say to a man whose job is tackling people, but if you try to tackle him one-on-one, I don't know of a person who's really suited to do that at a
Some
high
say that
level.
about both, really. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Because, well, fire and ice, thunder and lightning. Algier's going to try to run you slam over. And I think you might have a better chance earlier in the game with that. But as the game goes by, Algier ability to just run through you. Because when the Dallas defense tried to stop them, they went on the ride. It was nothing you could do.
They were
like,
tired. They were chasing Bijan the whole game.
And you going to carry me into the end zone. And Tyler's like, yeah, just hop on my back, bro. I'm going to get in that end zone. You can either go with me or you can watch me do it. But I'm going to get in the end zone. And you're right. If you catch Bijan at the point of attack, if you're there by yourself, it's no point in him being there. Because the little guys he's going to run over, and the slower guy, you just hope that you don't end up on ESPN.
If I'm Zach Robinson, I probably, and we'll move on from that because we got to talk about a whole lot of stuff for this game. If I'm Zach Robinson, I go back and look at the 2002, 2003, 2004 USC offense when they had Reggie Bush and Lindell White. If you look at how they use those two running backs, and if you're young watching this, go look at YouTube. Reggie Bush, it's eerily similar how those two play. And if you go look at those two, that's how you should use it. Reggie Bush was put everywhere, and then they put Lindell White in and just beat you to submission after Reggie Bush that made you look silly for the last 20 plays. They put Lindell White in for 10 plays and just run you over. If you could do that, Zach Robinson, go watch. It's amazing.
And I just saw some people posting best college running back room. That Lindell White, Reggie Bush. The only other one is like that Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Miami running back room. I think that's the only one in that conversation. But no, it's a couple Bama. But I still think
Bama had four. Bama had four NFL running backs.
Lindell and Reggie Bush, though, boy, let me tell you. You're making a lot of life decisions over there, boy. And you're right. They're very similar in gameplay style. Bijan is very much so Reggie Bush, and Tyler Algier is very much so Lindell White. That is spot on.
So I would use that. But we'll and then shout out to the Falcons. Again, change of scenery. Now I heard a lot of foolish people saying that Kirk Cousins, what is Kirk Cousins gonna do without without Justin Jefferson? Cool. And I heard some foolish people say, what is Justin Jefferson gonna do without Kirk Cousins? And I was like, well, he's gonna turn Sam Darnold into getting another contract.
Everybody is fine. Everybody is living their best life.
You mentioned Mooney before. Mooney and Drake London have benefited from Kirk more than anything. Kirk is a very much so anticipatory thrower, but he is so accurate and he knows the playbook so well. And now that he knows his receivers, I think he's got more time with Mooney because Mooney hasn't been as hurt. But he's got the timing is starting to get down on these passes and our play action along with this timing. And I think he's getting more confidence in his Achilles, honestly, because he was jumping up and down and doing that, which I never saw him do. We look offensively, if Kyle Pitts can block, we look scary because Drake London has 6 TDs in 9 weeks, and he has 6 TDs in his first 2 seasons as a Falcon.
But
you got to buy him a Rolex.
That's the frustration of us having shitty quarterback play for the last 2 seasons of watching Marcus Mariota and watching Desmond Ridder just throw the season away. And it's frustrating because we could have played Taylor Heineke and at least been a playoff team. That's what this proves. You didn't need the best quarterback in the world. You could have got to the playoffs for a substandard quarterback. And now that you have a standard quarterback, I mean, especially Bucks lose tonight, the NFC South.
I think we clinch if we beat the Saints, and then we play Carolina the last week, so we're at the halfway way of the season. If we beat, I think we got to win 2 more games, and I think we clinch. If the Bucks lose 2 and we win 2, I think we clinch.
And we still got the Giants on our schedule, so like
Yeah. So I mean, the Falcons look good. Kyle Pitts did disappear, but uh, I wasn't even disappointed about him disappearing because they pretty much made a consistent effort to not allow him to catch the ball because that
And
was their person that was um
he can big play you to death. That's the reason you gotta have to watch him. Is you only need to leave him unattended one time, and it's 40 yards.
40, 80,
And
60 touchdown.
and you really have to make a decision. Do I want Pitts to just take the top? Like, especially when he gets to moving, it's crazy to say that the tight end can take the top off your offense, but that linebacker, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I will say Pitts. I said it last week. I'm gonna say it this week. You got the block now. That sack fumble that Kirk Cousins had, that was all you. He ran around you.
That I want to tell you, Kyle Pitts. You got to make sure that you bring enough to this team that they want to keep you around, because you're going to ask for at least a decent amount of money, and if you don't command that money, there are other guys who have come right on in the NFL, come right on around you, and playing better than you. And then you got a guy like Brock Bowers who's
Leading
just
the
going
league in receptions.
nuts. And
Leading
it's
the league in
like,
receptions.
hey,
It
man,
was.
we can find another guy to do what you're doing, especially if you're not blocking. On the games that you're good, you're very good. But there are so many games where you're just there that I'm a Gator fan, but you on the precipice of replaceable, or you're on the precipice of
Trade.
not trade, or just not get the money that I think you deserve. You have to earn your money to get your money, is what I'm telling you.
The way he's playing, he's not gonna get a contract extension this year. They're gonna franchise tag him and say prove it, because his first year was so good, and then he tore his ACL, and then he had Desmond Ridder. So you have 2 years of just nothing, and then this year
Wasted.
you have so many flashes. You have so many flashes. You have the Tampa Bay game, both of them. You have the other game where he had a big catch. Like you had the Kansas City game where he had a big catch. You have so many flashes, but you just got to get better. I will say.
But the thing about it is Drake London looks so good, and it's like, hey, if we could find another guy that could play at the level of Drake, then yeah, I mean, you're a tight end, but you're also kind of just a wide receiver.
No, that's dead.
You're a pass catcher.
That's dead. He's too slow to be he can't get in and out of his breaks quick enough. He's Travis Kelce.
I'm saying,
he should try to be Travis Kelce.
But what I'm saying is, if you're not going to produce, then they're not going to pay you a lot of money to play for one catch, 11 yards.
Correct. Now let's focus on the losers. The Dallas Cowboys.
Now, me and Reggie had a pre-production meeting earlier today about this, boy. Y'all bums.
Dak Prescott is expected to miss several weeks with this hand and hamstring injury. I will say Dak was, again, just like with the Georgia-Florida game with DJ, Dak was ready to put it all on the line in this game. I hadn't seen Dak run this much in 2 years. And he was out there running for 15, 20 yards. And then that hamstring said, nope. So now you paid Dak all that money. Don't you make $60 million a year now? And now he's hurt. CeeDee Lamb is hurt. You paid him all that money. Trayvon Diggs is hurt. You paid him all that money. So now you have to pay Micah Parsons. You got to pay him, and you got DeMarcus Lawrence. I think y'all paid him too. Y'all got to pay a lot of people some money, and you got to figure out what's about to happen. And if I'm Dak, first thing I'm saying is we got to fire Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy play calling. There's no reason, if you're this season of a head coach, you should be outcoached by Raheem Morris. I love Raheem Morris, but he's still a newer head coach compared to you. This 4th and 1 play right here, where they had so many 4th and 1 plays. This is where he threw the tablet because they ran a jet sweep on 4th and 1. And I said at the game, I said, if it's something that Falcons know, it's on 4th and 1 or 4th and goal, you don't run the ball behind the line of scrimmage. You don't run parallel. The Falcons did it against the Chiefs, and we lost a game that we really should have won. The Cowboys did the same thing. And it was a terrible play. So there's this play. There's also the play of the fake punt on 4th and 3 in your own territory. And then they went for it again on 4th. They went for it before this one on 4th down, and they ran another stretch play to the weak side of the field. And I was like, dude, like those 3 plays really lost the game. I mean, I don't think you were going to win anyway. I think we took our foot off the gas in the 4th quarter to just get out of there. But you don't have the personnel to coach the way that you were coaching. And Mike McCarthy, if he doesn't, well, he's fired. It ain't no if, ain't no nothing. He's fired. He's not coming back. And if I'm Dak, I don't want him back. And Dak was so mad. He was like, bruh, this was caught. And they played this in the stadium on the big screen. When he said, boy, we effing suck. They showed that on the big screen in the stadium, and that was hilarious. Telling the truth, though.
So, I mean, you can't get mad with him. Y'all are losing to the Falcons 13-27. This is not how this is supposed to work for you guys. But, Jerry, you didn't go get a running back. You waited too late to pay your quarterback. You waited too late to pay your wide receiver. You didn't put your team in a position to win. And then when they don't win, I mean, you also hamstring them by not allowing them to have a coach that can coach. Now, on the 4th and 1 jet sweep, I like that play. But I like that play with motion. I either want to get my running, like in that case, I want to either have CD at full speed when he's getting the ball, or I want to have a lineman out there blowing up that edge to give him the space. Mm-hmm. I do think that if you need 1 yard, I like it because it's moving so fast. It's almost impossible for the defense to stop. If that guy's already moving fast, or if or their blocker is out there in the way. Like when the 49ers do it, that's when they move Trent from one side to the other, and Trent just wipes out the whole sideline. So by the time you get over there, whatever's left, just run straight, son. But when you don't do that, then no, it's not going to work. And I will say you played into the hands of what our linebackers do best. You know, that's the thing for us. You should if you make them have to guard somebody, then they can be had. But asking them to come up and make a tackle, oh yeah, they're gonna do that all day. You bailed them out. That's just poor play calling. Like that, and not even like just poor play calling. This is simple things that, once again, me and Reggie have jobs we're professionals at. We knew not to do that. Yeah. You could have done anything. Now, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at them giving the ball to CD because they did the one thing that a lot of teams don't do, is especially one, you don't have Zeke. Dak is hurt. Put the ball in the best player you got left on the field. I like that, but I think that the play
go back and look at that game. CD went off on the sideline. CD ain't had no catch in the first half, in like the first quarter or the first. Yeah. Matter of fact, he only had 2 catches for the game. He didn't have. That was a run. They did that because he cussed everybody out and they weren't giving him the ball.
But what I'm saying is he's the best. He was the best offensive weapon. It's the same thing you used to say about OBJ and the Browns. Hey, I don't care if you can't throw him the ball. If he's your best player, get him the ball and let him figure it out. That's why you pay him $40 million a year. Get out the way.
Yeah.
Now, you could do something a little bit better than what you did. That was just stupid. But we're perfectly fine with enjoying the Cowboys, watching them get their ass whooped.
And we laugh at their tears. Jerry Jones had an emotional message for the Cowboys after a painful loss to the Falcons. Let's see if we can play this. I think he had is it a mess? Is it the video?
Oh, yeah.
NFL can do you in. This is not a good time. I really regret this for all of our Dallas Cowboy fans. I will tell you this, that I've been around. I've seen Michael Irvin tear up and cry when he couldn't lose anybody because he's just recovered from knee surgery. Yet his ass came back and led a team to 3 Super Bowls. I know you can be there if you're there. That room's full of guys that can get it done. I believe in them, coaches and all. Just any team in the NFL can do you in.
Jerry,
You lying.
you lying. No. I don't think that he's lying.
Yeah, he's seen.
I think that you're delusional. Heavy on the delulu. You have made sure that you will never have a competent coach and then wonder why your team can't execute. It's because there's no coaching over there. Now, on top of that, you also cheaped out on your stars who are not motivated to give you any more than they absolutely are required because you don't pay them on time. If I always got to come to you and beg you for my money, then yeah, I'm going to take my money, but don't ask for nothing extra. And you see how Mahomes hopped right on out there? His leg might really be broke and fell off. But
they gave
Mahomes
you $500 million.
and he believe, and I think that he believes that the ownership group supports and believes in him. Unlike Dak, who you have told to every turn that I really never want to give you this money. You just keep taking it from me. So for me, this is what you get. This team is not going to be motivated. This is what you have when you have a manager and not a leader. There's no leadership for this team.
Yeah, and the team doesn't believe in them. And this will be my last point, and then we'll move on. The team doesn't believe. So the Cowboys fans didn't even care. Like, they were there and they were loud when they were scoring, but every time that they messed up, it was so deflating that they wouldn't even cheer no more. Like, and after that fake punt, that was it. Was leaving. Atlanta probably made more money at the bar in the third quarter than the whole time. They just went and got drunk after that fake punt. Like that was it. So it was a good game overall. I'm happy the Falcons won. Next week we got the Aints. We're 4-0 in the division. We have a chance to go 5-0 with only the Panthers left. And if that happens and we go undefeated in the division, I won't have enough hands to pat myself on the back for predicting that at the beginning of the season. But we got to beat the Aints.
Now, I want to put this in context because context is of the utmost importance here. Falcons 6-3, 3-3 at home, which is kind of disappointing. 3-0 away. We on a 2-game winning streak. The team directly below us just lost to the Chiefs. They're 4-5. Context: they're on a 3-game losing streak. They're trending downward. You have the Panthers, who are 2-7. They have a 1-game winning streak, and that's only because they beat the Saints, who are 2-7 and have a 7-game losing streak. Talk about things going our way. Now, I'm going to tell you that me and Reggie have been good soldiers. We have been the utmost optimists between the last 2 years of not mediocre quarterback play, but I would say the worst quarterback play that you could probably have other than Daniel Jones. The only reason I think that Daniel Jones is worse is because he is expensive and bad. The guys that we have are bad and cheap. But this says everything that the Falcons are going in the right direction and also future facing. We have 2 quarterbacks. The rest of these teams, between the 3 of them, have 1 quarterback, and that's Baker.
And I saw Michael Penix Jr. throw the ball 70 yards in warm-ups. I mean, he launched it. And I was like, oh, he just letting y'all know. He just letting y'all know. He was just throwing.
Hey, Kirk, now I'm going to get this job. And I see what you're doing around here, Kirk, and you can't move to save your life. And Penix probably like, and the truth of it, I could probably do this better than him, but I'm going to mind my business. Well, I'm a firm believer that Penix
athletically he's better, but he's got to get the mental part down. All right, so speaking of, and the Bucks lost. So speaking I think we beat speaking of the Aints, and this is why I wanted to look ahead to the Aints game. The Aints lost to the Panthers, y'all. the Panthers, who went back to Bryce Young, and I'm happy for Bryce. Shout out to Bryce. Got your win. You beat the Panthers. This is going to give them some hope. And I think you were kind of set up to not succeed.
Kinda?
I didn't say kinda. I said I think you were set up to not succeed.
Think is the operation. Think I'm going to send you to the worst team with the worst roster, with the worst owner, and then I'm only going to let you play 3 or 4 games.
With a brand new coach. Yeah.
I mean, who else could be in a worse position than Bryce?
Drake May.
No. No. Ownership is way better. Robert Kraft is way better.
You give ownership. But, I mean, on the field, coaching is a brand new coach. Same thing. We ain't going to argue about who's worse of the bottom of the barrel. But because that's not – we ain't really talking about – shout out – this all I'm going to say about the Panthers.
When I say bottom of the barrel, it's the sludge that you cup when you're trying to wipe all of the bottom of the toxins out that barrel.
Let me get this out the way now. Shout out to the Panthers. Congratulations, y'all won. Y'all did us a solid by being the Aints. That's all I'm going to say about y'all right now. We're going to move on to everything that has happened in the last 24 hours for the Aints. Derek Carr is the first quarterback in NFL history to lose to 31 teams. The only team that he has not lost to is the team that he used to play for, which is the Oakland Raiders.
They play soon.
No team has ever lost all 32 teams. The only team he hasn't lost to, and of course they play them December 29th in New Orleans. And
they trying to beat him.
They're going to try to beat you. They're going to try to beat you. Brock Bowers going to try to go for 1,000 yards in one game. Now, they're probably not going to beat y'all. But
I don't know. Probably maybe. We'll see.
Derek Carr's been ass.
But you know what? You know who I feel real bad for? Is Papa Carr. Y'all beat my first son in the submission, sacked him so many times, he just quit playing football. Then y'all let everybody in the NFL beat my other son. God, do y'all?
Yeah, they don't like you. They don't like you. But
how y'all hate everybody in my family?
But then you had after the game. This was immediate. Like this was Cam Jordan tweeted this while he still had his pads on and the media was not even in there yet. He said, "We just lost to the Panthers. I love y'all, New Orleans. Truly had higher expectations and best of hopes for us. Y'all deserve it." When I tell you, I screenshotted that so fast, and with the Bryce Young Chucky face, I screenshotted that so fast. I was like, ha ha ha! And y'all go follow us on follow, subscribe. Go follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch and all of them other things, because it's a nice little preview reel or post game reel / preview for the
montage.
Podcast.
They call that a montage
of the disrespect that I gave, because it's so awesome seeing Cam Jordan take shots at the Falcons and Matt Ryan every time he's on television. So now to see you with the salty face get beat by the worst team in the league, the worst organization in the league, is hilarious. To see you lose, to hear Kalen Saunders then follow suit and go on and say, "Hey, fans keep saying we losing till we can get the number 1 pick. Hell, throw me in at quarterback. Let's have some fun." Which means they don't like Derek Carr either. So for your 2 best defensive linemen to be up there tweeting is hilarious, dog. Is Alvin Kamara up there talking about we ain't got no faith in nobody else. He said we don't even care. We don't even like you. Saying that we don't like the coach is hilarious to me. And I'm going to let you talk, but I'm going to introduce all of this so that I can laugh at all of them. To have Mr. Slant himself, Mr. Slant, Mr. I made a career off Drew Brees and running 7 yards down the field, Michael Thomas, cussing Derek Carr out. He don't even got no job. How you get cussed out at your job by somebody that ain't got no job? That's wild to me. He went off so bad, and I'll let Norwood talk about it because there's a whole lot of tweets that I don't really care about. In the gist of it, it sucks. And then to end the whole game with the bags back, let me tell y'all how warm my heart is today. Y'all suck. The Saints are terrible. They talked a lot of trash. Marshall, you up there, y'all try, and look at y'all trying to hide behind Louisiana. Oh, Saints fans ain't worried about us losing. Falcons fans worried about us losing because we going to lose. Don't nobody give a damn about no Louisiana, because if y'all won, y'all would be right up there. We had Louisiana and we won. All y'all kissed my ass. Y'all lost. Y'all been talking trash to me my whole life. Y'all been saying this 28-3 stuff, whatever. Y'all lucked up with that bowl. I was told by family that was a little disrespectful what I called it. We gonna call it the FEMA Bowl. I won't call it the Yameen Bowl. But it was, y'all got that Super Bowl. Y'all suck. And y'all up there getting beat. And let me tell you, I'm gonna put this out there and then I'm done. Norwood, I digress my time to you. I don't give a damn what happened next week. I hope we win and we end up going 6-0 in the division and all of that stuff. If y'all beat us, it don't change the fact that y'all suck and y'all put everything, how y'all used to say, oh, the Saints game is the Falcons Super Bowl. Well, let me tell you what this is. This is y'all Super Bowl. I hope y'all get up, and I hope y'all lose on a 59-yard field goal by Younghoe Koo. That would just be awesome to me because y'all suck.
Yes.
Y'all suck. I digress my time. I will scroll to wherever you need me to go. Fuck them. Go ahead.
I knew Reggie was gonna turn y'all up, and I'm happy he came right in here and did exactly what he needed to do. Cowboys, you guys are terrible. The Falcons have done this thing where we're starting to end people's seasons. We look like we did that with the Bucks. Cowboys, we look like we didn't put a bow on you guys, and Saints look like you guys have taken yourself out back and did the old yeller. So I'm happy for all of you teams because I've told you all season, my name is Misery and I'm looking for company. Well, it looks like I'll be handing that title over to you because it looks like we're moving and grooving in the right direction. Go Falcons, rise up. Go Falcons. The rest of y'all don't care.
All right, now that I got that off my chest, Michael Thomas, his rant about the whole Chris Olave thing. So basically, with the Michael Thomas thing, he basically said that Derek Carr is ass, that people cover him up, and they fired all those coaches trying to cover him up. And then he said that Derek Carr lied and said that he was jealous of Chris Olave being wide receiver 1. And the whole time he can't even throw him a decent pass. He needs his ass whooped. The funny thing about all of these tweets is that Chris Olave's brother agreed with everything, which tells me there's a little bit of validity to whatever he's saying. Derek Carr, of course, took the high road and said no. But
Derek Carr, you were okay with the Raiders, I guess. But you were never a world beater to me. You were never a guy I was really concerned about. That's the reason I wasn't concerned when you went to the Saints. You had a couple good games to start the season. Them two, I guess, literally one couple. And then after that, y'all been 10 types of terrible ever since. I think that Michael Thomas is exactly right. I hope they keep you around. You make me feel very comfortable. You make me feel safe. I believe my QB1 and my QB2 are better than you, for sure. I think the Baker's better than you, honestly. But firing Dennis Allen to me is a little confusing. I don't know what you expected him to do with this team. This team sucked. We said this team sucked. The only reason we said that this team didn't suck the worst is because the Panthers are here. But let's be real here. Your team is old.
Yep.
And not good.
Old. We told y'all they was old, and y'all was in our I want all y'all punk asses to keep the same energy. Y'all was all in our inboxes talking about, oh, you said that about the Saints. They old and all. I told you.
Now the Bucks are different to me. The Bucks are just hurt. If Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are healthy, they're a problem for us. You guys are not a problem for us. Yeah, it's nothing you could do with this team that's scary to me. Nothing. But the best thing I can tell y'all to do is Jalen Milroe should be available. You should draft that guy.
To what? They got Spencer Rattler. You gonna have him and Spencer be the new Taysom and
put them
Drew?
back there together. Yes. Why are you playing? That's literally the evolution of the black quarterback. Let's say that. Let's leave it there. Yeah, let's have a black quarterback and a black mysterious H-back guy. I think that might be one of the best things they could do around there, to have somebody who's fast and good and young. Yeah. Instead of old and slow and sorry.
Yeah. And now, and then of course Michael Thomas, when they said he's fired, said there it goes. I will say, Michael Thomas, you ain't building no case for somebody to sign you. I tell you that. But
boy, Rudy Gay retired last week. You can retire too. It's over. Over. Especially you doing this. When you start talking crazy like this at your job, you'll expect to go back. I assume.
Yeah. When that phone didn't ring past that free agency period, Adden, you was like, all right.
I might as well start telling these people the truth. You suck. I ain't never liked you.
Tap him on the shoulder. But yeah, so the Saints lost. We play them next week. They're in disarray, and I understand why I see why you fired him, because you lost to the worst run organization in the league. That's why.
But losing him now, what does it do for you other than
first pick of the next coaches? You are now. You can start talking. You could, people that might not be here. You go look. I mean, I'm not saying Belichick was interested, but you could go talk to Belichick. You could go talk to a lot of people.
Who do you think you can talk to with that roster?
Oh no, you're gonna have to give up the gas. You have to give up the credit card to the groceries with Belichick now. They clean out. Go ahead and throw it all out. This food spoiled. We're gonna go to Costco, Sam's, or BJ's.
Belichick and New Orleans are no. That
he got that 24-year-old girlfriend. She might like it down there now. But we'll move on, man. We'll move on because we got a lot of games to talk about. This
not
would be
really. Everything after this is now fast. Jaguars.
The Eagles beat the Jaguars. First off, that Georgia defensive players, they've all gotten healthy. Jalen Carter's healthy. Jordan Davis healthy. Nakobe Dean with the game-winning interception as linebacker playing cornerback, which was something I thought that was just like a one-off against Florida when he picked off Anthony Richardson for the pick six. But apparently he does this often. So, and now they got Cooper DeJean, and they playing all the – Philly has played all the young people now. They just threw everybody in all the young people on defense.
Because they was finna lose. That's
Darius Slay.
You get close to losing, you get real creative. Hey, either I get fired or we do something new. Do something new it is.
Darius Slay, bro. I'm glad you got that podcast, because they about to usher you right on out of there. You was talking so bad about that other dude. What's his name? Bradbury? And one season makes a lot. But that wasn't even part of the game. It wasn't even part. That wasn't even the highlight of the game. This right here,
literally is the only reason we're here.
For the audio experience. If you're listening to this podcast on the audio experience,
bro, you've seen this.
You've seen this Saquon Barkley just spin one. Oh, and then a back. How do you jump over a defender in football? I want y'all to see this.
I saw somebody put.
Look at that.
You know how frustrating it has to be number 22. I'm broken down. I'm in front of him. I am in the correct defensive position. I lower my shoulder. I'm driving through the football. His back is to me. His back is to me. This is, he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. I've seen him without a helmet on. And then for him to jump and you do not touch that human will give me trust issues. I trust my own eyes that if I go forward, he gonna be there. And I'm gonna tell you, everything was there except for Saquon Barkley because he's 8 feet in the air. Unbelievable.
It was, and the funny thing is, shout out to Rod and all our viewers, man. They put in the chat immediately, yo, Saquon is different. And I heard all of it. It was sounding like rain on my windowsill. It was so many tears that caught the wind from New York that came all the way down to Atlanta and hit my window pane because the Giants just it's like I don't know what's the biggest blunder. You having Saquon and then deciding not to pay him just so that y'all and he wanted to stay there so that y'all can be terrible, or not having Derrick Henry and Derrick Henry wanting to be there and then you decide, we'll be good, and then you turn out to be 2-7. Like I don't know which is worse. But
you don't turn out to be 2-7. If your team stinks and you get rid of the one bright spot on your team, that's not mysteriously. It's not by surprise. You are clearly trying to go 2-7. Congratulations on being 2-7. Now, also congratulations on this being on Hard Knocks, so we can replay that stupid ass clip of you talking about you'll miss a lot of sleep if Saquon becomes an Eagle, because he looks great in this Kelly Green. And not only does he look great in this Kelly Green throwback Eagles jersey, he's doing back roundhouse flip jump kicks over Jaguars players,
over professional athletes.
And I'm gonna tell you, there's no better defense that a human on this planet can play than what number 22 did. Well, 100%. You know how they have the little graph and they say your percentage of winning in the fourth quarter if you up by 100 points. That's your tackle percentage.
Fought off the block.
No, this is your tackle percentage when you have the man dead to rights and his back is to you. Unless this human is Saquon. Look at him charge up. First of all, he looked like John Morant. He done dropped down so low. He charging up. Then he go jump, and you go put all your trust that you've ever had in a human, all the trust you ever had in the Lord, all the trust you've ever had in your athletic ability, and say, I'm going to knock his face off. Only for said face not to be present. But not only the face not present, the back not present, the human not present. Now you're on ESPN for the world to see, doing absolutely nothing. And then we have to go in today and watch the tape on this.
Yep.
I have to watch the tape on me missing the man completely. Didn't touch him.
Boy, thought it was Easter Sunday. Went looking for the body and it wasn't there. Thought calling you Martha.
He did. He has risen. Saquon rolled right over his head.
Hey, wait a minute. Boy. Yeah, bruh. At that point, it's like, all right. Like, yeah, I'm on the highlight, and you right, and you would be on the highlight too. You couldn't say nothing to me because he would do all of that to you too. Dang, sports science would be great right now. They should bring that back.
100%. I need a mathematical equation of how you jump.
The torque and the force.
Load up. Y'all, like, the jump is cool, but y'all don't see how low he gets in the load up before he takes off. And this is all in one split second. Now, me as a 38-year-old man, if I do this right now, all of those body parts will go in different directions. That leg will go this way. That arm will go that way. The other arm will go that way. The other leg will go the other way. And my body will not have moved. It won't even be no up. It'll just be like, damn, he just fell down forever. Damn, up. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's nothing you can do. It's just sometimes life ain't fair.
Jesus. It ain't. But, so shout out. The Eagles seem like they're starting to catch their footing a little bit. I don't know. The Jaguars suck, and Trevor Lawrence got mollywopped too in this game. But he actually didn't play bad. He didn't play too bad. Let's run through the rest of these games real quick. I'm going to start off with the Dolphins. The Bills are actually, they keep winning. Amari Cooper didn't. I didn't even watch the highlights of this game for the Bills-Dolphins game. I just wanted to see what Tua was going to do. And there was one play where he threw a touchdown, and I thought he was going to get just knocked back out. Dude was charging.
I don't want to watch any more Tua games. If I see him on, I'm going to turn the channel as long as it's not the Falcons. And I don't want to see it. Nope, I just don't want to see it. I'm telling y'all now, the Bills are a scam. They might keep winning games, but it ain't real. beating the Dolphins by 3 points at this point, I don't think is a very big accomplishment. They're a bad defense, and they're an offense that's barely holding on. Y'all can put stock in the Bills. I get it. Y'all happy that Amari Cooper is there, and then immediately out with a wrist. I'm leaving the Bills
he didn't
alone.
play. Okay, I missed that part.
Correct.
Yeah, well, that sucks. That does suck.
Cardinals versus Bears.
Oh, no, I got you.
Which
Cardinals Bears.
I mean-
It is. The Cardinals beat the Bears. Is that what y'all want me to say?
Yeah,
The Cardinals beat the Bears.
Thank you.
29, and they beat them down 29-9. And interestingly enough, the Bears were favored, and they just came off that loss because of the Tyreek Stevenson mishap, and they benched him, if I'm not mistaken. He played, but he didn't play a lot.
And then he got hurt.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he did get hurt.
He said, "Oh, I'm hurt. Y'all gonna bench me? You can't bench me if I'm hurt. Y'all
Pulled
got
himself
it.
after
I wasn't
practice.
playing no way. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I bet you they play him
the
now.
Bears-
29-9.
no, I think that at this point, he's probably not a guy. Whether he's good or not, that's a different conversation for a different day. One thing I surely can say is if you're taking yourself out because we're gonna bench you, you're no longer a team player. And the Bears, while I think that they have promise in the future, they need to find what players are their players. That's the key.
That's fair.
Identifying the guys who are going to be your Bears is more important. Tyreek Stevenson, you probably don't want to be around for that. And I mean, I think that there are still some coaching questions with the Bears.
Eberflus.
Yeah. I think that.
I mean, that's fair.
He can't be on a hot seat yet, but they're not gonna let
with Caleb. No, he's got 2 years. He's got this year and next year. But I will say, Tyreek, if y'all trying to get rid of him,
around.
if y'all trying to get who,
Eberflus gonna get fired. He gonna get fired. I'm gonna tell you
not
why.
this year,
because he's not gonna. No. But next year he gonna.
Yeah. He got
Fine.
2 years. This year and next year.
Yeah, the Packers are gonna be better than you. The Vikings are gonna be better than you. The Lions are gonna be better than you. You're gonna be fired.
You will, especially if Caleb Williams keeps getting better and better. Now I will say this: Falcons, Bears. If y'all trying to get rid of Tyreek Stevenson, we need a cornerback number 2. Just putting that out there. But I'll move on. Speaking of the Lions and Packers, the Lions at 75% beat the Packers 24-14. No Jameson Williams, who finished up his 2-game suspension, comes back, by the way. And then of course, no Aiden Hutchinson, and I think Jahmyr Gibbs ended up getting hurt too. So they at 75% beat that defense is still defensing. And these coordinators are playing, and they beat them 24-14. They had Jordan Love looking shook.
The Packers are a team that still. I don't want to put a ton of pressure on them yet. Let Jordan Love figure himself out. Let him figure the offense out. Let's give black quarterbacks a reasonable, decent amount of time to develop. And I think that he'll be fine. The Lions are just playing. At every level, they're playing elite football.
What do you mean decent time to develop? He went to the NFC Championship game last year. And he sat for 2 years.
Yeah, but all of that's cool until you start playing.
He went to the NFC Championship game when he started playing.
Okay, cool. I'm not. I want that happens. I want to give everybody a reasonable time to be like, okay, because just like the same thing I said, don't overreact. Just like I said about Georgia Tech, just don't move. He's pretty good, but don't like I hate to say it, don't Jalen Hurts yourself. Where you put all this pressure on this guy to be so good, and in reality, they're not. They're good, but just not as good as the hype train.
Oh, well, you tripping? They are. He signed that contract extension this offseason. He getting paid $50 million a year. He will be.
Oh,
yeah. Ain't no more waiting. This is it. We gave you 2 years to sit. You starting and you went to the playoffs, and we won with Malik Willis. So
you know my rule, Reggie. Hey,
we
what
paid
they
you the money
you.
now.
Follow the money. With the money comes responsibility.
Even with all of that, the fact that they went 3-0 with Malik Willis puts a lot of pressure on you. Now, you didn't pay anybody of the caliber of the Lions, who was probably the best team in the league. But still, it's Malik Willis.
Hey,
Shout out to
that
you
money.
too.
That money changes thing. If I got the expectation for Kyler, I got the same expectation for you.
I think
the
I
money
missed
is the money,
something
baby.
real quick. I want to
Here we go.
say
This is a terribly set up joke. I can see you trying to set it up, and I'm not gonna let you set it up. I see what you're
shout
doing.
out to Malik Willis, by the way, Westlake High School. Just want to throw that out there.
Is he?
Well, yeah, he transferred to Roswell his senior year.
God.
After he got his, well, he started. They went to the semifinals and then he left and lost to Roswell. The Vikings win. Who do they play? They don't have no graphic about who they played at all.
Dog, you can clearly see the Colts.
Oh, Colts
on
the horseshoe. Yeah. Play Anthony Richardson. I don't see no score. I was looking for a score. Anthony Richardson didn't play.
That Minnesota unfortunately won't put a score on. Like, all right, let me tell y'all, it's 2024. When you win a game, you put that your team wins, you put the score. It's that simple. Why? It's always one or two teams that either don't put the score or they don't make like just a standing graphic and they make a video. No, we trying to put together a podcast here,
But yeah, interesting thing about that, Anthony Richardson pulled the Bryce Young halftime, gave everybody dap, and was the last one in the locker room before saying what up to the team, showing he's a team player. I want to say something about Anthony Richardson before we move on. I still think he sucks, and I still think that he needs time to develop. But I don't know if benching him was the right thing to do. Joe Flacco looked old. He looked his age. And now that the stories have come out about how they benched him and that he didn't know, they didn't call him in. He said, I found out when y'all found out. For your number 4 pick that you have staked your job on, you kind of got to handle that a better way. Now, I still believe he sucks and he needs to be better, but you also have to put him in a position to succeed. You can't draft somebody number 4 overall who the entire league and your front office said, hey, he needs to develop, and then start him week 1 and then fall in love. How you said, let's all just stay still and then fall in love with him with that. He does throw a pretty deep ball, but then not help him in any other way, shape, or form, and then he gets hurt. Now, that's his fault. This is stuff. But y'all handled this so bad. The Colts have handled this so badly. And the fact that – and Gardner Minshew tricked y'all. Y'all thought that y'all could throw Anthony Richardson out there without development because Gardner Minshew went out there and took him to the playoffs? Did they go to the playoffs?
Yep.
Yeah. Went to the playoffs. No. Y'all had a world-class defense and didn't have any injuries. Y'all have injuries now.
And the other part is, it's the same thing I said about like Taylor Heineke with us. You can take one of those guys and they'll get you there. But those guys are very unique guys because they can do enough. Like, they'll never have the ceiling of Anthony Richardson, but they'll never have that floor either. Like, they're just adult football players who've done this for a while. They're going to be able to do that mostly. And I think that if Flacco wasn't so old, he would, he could. I mean, he did it last year, but it's only so many times you go to the well with a man who's almost 50 and expect him to, to still do it. He ain't LeBron.
Do you bring back Anthony Richardson this year like the Panthers brought back Bryce?
You're going to have to. Life always, like, I don't have an issue with Anthony Richardson sitting. I think that you should have handled it better, but you not handling it better does give you an opportunity to see how he deals with situations that are out of his hands. And I personally like to see that because that's where you kind of get to judge a man and the testament of who that man is.
Come on, Pledgy.
I could nah. I mean, it's not even that. It's just like I wouldn't even. It's more of like how you look at a guy like, please don't take this the wrong way. But like a Cam Newton. Cam Newton is a person who you knew he would, even though he has a right to be kind of an asshole in this situation. I think that Anthony Richardson will still continue like as a good soldier to move forward. I think he's super high integrity. And I think that to a certain degree, he understands, hey, I didn't play well and I have to do a better job of protecting myself. Now, could you guys have treated me differently? And should you? Sure. But that's not going to affect how I come in and operate every day, which I think is one of the reasons you draft a guy like that.
Yeah. I do think they need to go back to him, and I think that he'll be. I think if you're talking about the character of a man based on the trials and tribulations, I think he passed the first test by pulling the Bryce Young and dapping everybody up and being engaged in the game and all of that stuff.
He's not going to be a chump about it. Like, that's one thing I will say about the little bit, that I think I know about him is he's not like a quitter. He's not going to be a cancer to your team. He's not going to be Johnny Bad Attitude. Now, within that, you don't get the opportunity to keep chumping people off and treating them like they don't matter either. Now, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
Yep. So we'll move on from that. The Rams, they keep winning and they keep finding. They got another receiver, and he's one-handed.
You mean you got another world beater just sitting over there, huh? Just
in the same mold. DeMarcus Robinson, 6'3", 215, not fast but runs great routes, and he caught a one-handed walk-off 50-yard touchdown against the Seahawks. Big division win. And I mean, with Sean McVay and that receiving core and Matt, what's the name?
Receiving core. Who? Matt Stafford?
Puka Nacua, DeMarcus Robinson, and what's his name?
No, bro. Cooper Kupp. All that is Sean McVay, the kingmaker. Whoever they need to play receiver can play receiver. They gonna make you make it. That's it. It's the same thing in San Francisco. They're gonna find a guy who you've never heard of before, and he was working at Meineke last week, and then we saw him on the side of the street. He was running real fast in a straight line, so we just started handing him the ball, and now he leads the NFL in running yard. I mean, in yards. That's it. This is not science.
If it's Sean it is science, if that's what you're saying. But if that's true what you're saying, they got the right pieces because those dudes, I mean, they played Puka, even though Puka got ejected for throwing a punch. Those guys do exactly what he needs them to do, and it's working. I mean, and they're basically trying to be Kansas City. You have one good person, a good coach, and a quarterback, and you can just figure it out from there. And
that's the thing that you have to do with these teams. You got to do when you play for Miami, what you got to do when you play for San Francisco, and what you got to do when you play for the Rams. You got to shut up and do what they tell you to do. It ain't no hey or what no. This is what you're gonna do, son. When that man blocks that man, you run right there. And if you can't do that, I will find somebody else that will. And the person who does, they're going to lead the NFL in running yards.
Pro Bowl.
That's it.
$100 million contract. If you just follow me, I can get who used to say that the most? Steve Spurrier. I throw the ball to a spot. If you not there, you out the game. That's how the offense went.
And that's how those guys, it's not a, hey, I don't like you. Hey, I like, no. Can you do what I asked you to do? If you can't do that, then son, what Mike Tomlin say, the standard is the standard. I got to find somebody who can do that job, son. It means you got to find another job. It's that simple.
And then finally, you have the hottest team in the league, the 7-2, number 1 or 2. Who's number 1 in the NFC right now? Lions.
Lions. In the NFC.
The Lions. The number 2 team in the NFC, the Washington Commanders. I'm going to say that again Because we haven't said that, I feel like, since John Riggins. Like, the number 2 team in the NFC, the Washington Commanders, beat the Giants. Nah, it was trick baggish, but they beat the Giants 27-22. They are 7-2, y'all. Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the draft class so far. And I'm impressed with Caleb. And I'm actually kind of impressed with Drake May, too. No lie.
Bo Nix
out there cooking with Sean Payton.
Games.
Yeah, he's another one. Shut up and don't do
thing.
nothing.
Yes, this is my thing with the Commanders. I feel the same way that I kind of feel about Anthony Richardson and Georgia Tech. Just don't move. Don't believe. I don't want to sound like a hater and say don't believe the hype.
You sound like one.
Because I think that they're good. I don't think they're good as the hype sells them to be. And you're gonna say, Chris.
Oh well, yeah.
How? Oh, okay. Then there's no argument.
No, their division sucks. Their division sucks. The division sucks. They hit the lick at the right time.
But the Commanders are like, the Commanders fans are like, oh, this is it. Like, we back.
Bruh, you would be like, too. They have been horrible since both. They have been so bad. Kirk Cousins has changed the whole landscape of playing players. Robert Griffin has played, retired, come back, retired, and been a broadcaster, and they still have not been good since then.
Got fired from that.
Yeah, and now he's a podcaster. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
They had Kyle Shanahan, who is now one of the best coaches in the league, and all those coaches from that staff are now head coaches. They have not been good in a long time. They have not been good in a long time.
That's my only thing. It's like when they were gonna play when they played Baltimore, I said, hey, they're gonna lose this game. Like they're a good team, but when you're playing against a more seasoned team, I don't think like a good seasoned team with a worse record they struggle against.
Well, we're gonna see. I don't think they got the Steelers next. They got the
Eagles twice, and I mean,
and the Steelers and the Cowboys, Titans, and Saints. So I mean, they're gonna lose maybe twice to the Eagles. We'll say twice to the. I'll say twice. That gives them 4 losses, and let's say they lose to the Steelers, and that makes them 5 losses. I think they beat the Cowboys especially if Dak is hurt. They beat the Cowboys, they beat the Titans, they beat the Saints, and they beat the Cowboys again. That puts them at 12-5. I would rejoice if I've been terrible for 15 years and I'm 12-5.
By hook or by crook.
And win the division. And I got Magic Johnson. Magic. That's Magic.
Yeah. And I could get the Cowboys. Like you could probably you could go ahead and eliminate the Cowboys. And depending on how the season goes, you can't eliminate the Eagles, but you could disrupt them and possibly if they beat the Eagles twice, you get Nick Sirianni fired.
If they beat the Eagles twice, then they're going to be considered the best team in the league because at that point, then they're going to go from 12-5. You're assuming they're going to beat the Cowboys. They go from 12-5 to 15-2.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Which
Eagles,
would be kind of crazy.
Eagles, y'all got a. But that's worst case
14-3 because I don't think they're gonna beat Pittsburgh.
If they go 14-3, that's the worst thing that can happen to Jaden Daniels. That is the Cam Newton special, where you come out and you're so good your rookie year that you're always chasing that.
Especially with Dan Quinn, like
and
we've seen it now.
Dan Quinn
that first year gonna
Washington,
be crazy.
That's a trap. I would actually.
No, get them. And the thing is, and this is why you should be able to renegotiate your contract immediately. If I do this, we go 14-3 in my first year. I want $50 million on the table in $100 bills in a bunch of briefcases on the first day of off season because I deserve it. I deserve it.
Did you see? You must don't. You know I saw Jalen Hurts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why would I do that again?
I don't care. I'm speaking from the perspective of Jaden Daniels.
Sure. Fair. All right. We covered that. Yeah. This okay. Sarah York writes, the Chiefs won. I just sometimes I get overwhelmed. The Chiefs won 2 Super Bowls between Daniel Jones' most recent 2 passing touchdowns at MetLife Stadium. 2. Not 10. 2. That's a Super Bowl win on February 12th, 2023, and a Super Bowl win on February 11th, 2024. Last 2 touchdowns for Daniel Jones at MetLife versus Commanders, January 1st, 2023, and then November 3rd, 2024. And y'all gave this man all that money. I remember a person who said you should not give him any money because he sucks. You should not actually want to keep him on your team. And then I think that person went on to say, oh, you really a dumbass. You're going to get rid of your best player and then keep him. Now you over here looking stupid in the face, and you're going to get everybody fired. Daboll fired. And Daboll, you're in the same situation I kind of feel about the offensive coordinator with the Raiders. You gave me nobody, and then you don't know why we not good. Bro, if you tell me Daniel Jones is the option to play quarterback, then I'm going to say we going to suck. I don't care what the team looks like. They're just going to suck.
Yeah.
What team do you think Daniel Jones could make look good?
He gonna be
and I can go ahead and eliminate one team for you.
The Republicans?
Well, 2 teams. No. He cannot make the Giants look good because we can see it. He also has no hope with the Jaguars because we look at Trevor Lawrence play just like him. He sucks. And I'm happy because you should have known not to give him any money, but y'all just give them to white men who are handsome, who did something at some point, even though I still don't know when Daniel Jones played good football. I don't know when he was good at football.
Never was. You alluded to it earlier. The Raiders have fired offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, even though Brock Bowers leads the league, or at the time was leading the league in receptions. Offensive line coach James Craig and quarterbacks coach Rich Scangarello will be interim offensive coordinators. No, they fired all these dudes. The interim offensive coordinator will be the special teams coach.
Why did you fire somebody when you went into the season saying that, hey, at the most important position in this sport, we will do our best to find the most ill-equipped person that we can find for the job?
Every year. And the thing is, according to this caption, this is something that they've done the last 5 years. They've switched coach or coordinator, defense or offense, or both in the middle of the season 4 of the last 5 years.
And you know, they also had one of them drafts where they didn't sign anybody back.
Mm-hmm.
How you draft 7 people and then none of them were good enough to bring back? What are we doing here? Once again, congratulations on getting fired. I know that people always don't want to hear that. This is the best thing that could have happened to you. Anytime you choose not to go into the season with no quarterback,
Aiden O'Connell,
you're trying to lose. See, this is the reason that I think that people should get like 5 minutes to cuss people out once they get fired. He should have told them how he really felt. Bro, y'all gave me nothing.
Not the Antonio Pierce.
Right. Hey, Peter, go ahead. You better tell him from outside.
Antonio Pierce whooped the Bears' ass on a recruiting trip. Like, what? I have to take it.
I'm going to step outside. But I'm going to tell you from far enough that, hey, you say what you want to. I gave you for sure an offensive rookie of the year candidate. Now, he ain't going to beat Jaden Daniels for that spot. But
nope.
He's in the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, he's in the conversation right now for best tight end in the league as a rookie.
And yes, I was about to say he's going to have the best rookie season for a tight end in NFL history, probably.
At least since Jeremy Shockey.
So yeah, I mean, you could. Hey, bro, you did it in spite of.
Yeah, hey man, you get paid and you get to take a little vacation. Somebody gonna hire you.
Yeah.
One thing they gonna hire you because you got Brock Bowers, even in this game. So notable non QB rookie performances. Beanie Bishop, who has been playing really well as part of that Steelers defense. Now he is playing with the best defensive end combination in the league. But he's been playing well. Brock Bowers, another 10 catches for 93 yards. Keon Coleman, all of a sudden, it's starting to click. Y'all was talking about him for a little bit. Starting to click.
Slow start, but just that kid's a winner. He ain't no chump. He's not a snitch. High character guy. Just and
snitch.
You got because he could have snitched and he didn't. I respect that. And also, especially these rookie guys. Drake London, he finally got moved to the slot, and when he got moved to the slot, it just makes his job easier. You're going to have to do the same thing for Keon Coleman, too. Put him in the slot where he can win a little bit more of those battles to get the confidence. Sticking these guys all on the outside, I tell y'all this week in and week out.
On that
wide receiver one is that's a man's job. And you got to be a real murderer, killer at that receiver position to go out there and do that every week, especially when they want to go too high safety and just keep you in check. You really, to still go out and produce at a high level, it really lets you know how good a player is to be able to do that.
Well,
but
that's
if
what
the
they
guy
did.
don't, if the guy don't catch fire immediately, you as a coach need to make an adjustment and say, instead of me quitting on this guy, how can I help this guy's job be easier? Y'all know I say I'm a firm believer. You identify your best player in every sport, and you try to make their job as easy as possible so that they can be good.
That I was gonna say that's what they kind of did. They got Amari Cooper, so now he's out there on his own. And if you look at Keon Coleman in that game, they put him in the slot, and they put him at the 2 receiver, and they put him in the slot a lot. And then he kind of had a breakout game, and they did it again in this game. And he had 4 catches for 125 yards. So it's working. The rest of these guys, Jalen McCullough, Bo Leemer, they played well for the Rams. Mason McCormick did well for Brian Thomas is still doing Brian Thomas things. 5 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Evan Williams, 9 catches. But the person that hurts because the Falcons need a pass rusher so bad, and the fact that it came out that we tried to trade back up and get him, Latu has been a menace for the Colts defense. He's still young, but when he figures it out and he understands the defense and kind of knows what everybody's supposed to do instead of just him, he looks for real deal.
I'm happy for him, but I don't have buyer's remorse, especially now that we took out at least 4 teams, just ruined their whole season. Specifically the Raiders, they just decided that we not gonna get what we want, so we're not gonna have anything. So
they just didn't have a backup plan.
Now this is the thing, Falcons, and after that we'll move on. But let me tell you right now, whatever player is the best available edge rusher that went to the University of Georgia is who you need to draft.
Michael Williams.
If it don't say UGA, put it the fuck back. And I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Now, I done told y'all who to draft the last 2 times, and I think that I made 2 good picks that y'all did not go with. And that's fine. But I'm not playing that this year. If y'all, whatever the edge is, that's the one you need to get. You need to go ahead and pre-write on the card, UGA. You just need to find the best available one and say, that's the one I would like to have.
Jalen Walker, Reggie is number laughing, 11. But he's telling the truth. I
am dead ass serious. What y'all got? Call Kirby. What y'all still got over there? Whatever you got, send it to me. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, you ain't lying. And it's 2 more I'm coming. It's Michael Williams and Jalen Walker. It's 2 more. And it's going to be 3 more next year. So,
and I want one of them. I know I'm probably not going to get number 1. I get that. That probably not in the cards for me. But that second one, and I'm gonna go as far as to say, Kyle Pitts, if it's you or Edge,
you're gonna be in a trade package, which they talking about anyway. But ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end. Oh, unbeaten team, just Kansas City now. Still.
Yeah. And still reigning champions of the world.
And still. But we've come to the end of the football segment of episode 165 of the Splash Cast. Y'all, I did not get a beer last time. I'm off work tomorrow. Shout out to our new viewers and new followers.
You keep throwing that in my face.
I'm about to go have a beer. So I'm going to go get me a brew, and then we're going to talk about these Hawks, talk about this Drake versus DeRozan beef. I don't really need to talk about that, but I don't care. And really, I will talk about the Hawks and Embiid. Everybody else I don't really care about. And Paolo. We'll talk about Paolo. But and Pop. But we got about 4 or 5 things we'll run through for basketball. We appreciate y'all. Remember, like, follow, subscribe. Tell a friend. Tune into our social media, man. I'm starting to learn how to put these reels together back better. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Listen to the smooth sounds of the Splash Cast 47 back. Oh, well, maybe not.
Wait, hold on. What should they do? Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Be here for it.